Right, I'm going to upset a few people here. Reason number one, I should really have pulled this car out if I was going to do a video about it rather than park it up and then decide to do a video about it. But number two, I'm going to upset a lot of people that have got huge prejudices against electric cars. Because I bought this Kia Soul a little while ago, Kia Soul EV, from the main Kia dealership, didn't I? It's one of their part exchanges. And I've been running it for a week to see what running an EV car was really like, because I was one of those people that had a lot of the prejudices. All my issues were with the range of the car, the inconvenience, that kind of thing. Not really about the green elements of it. I think there's a lot of debate over whether the cars are really cleaner or not based on how much they cost to produce, and I'll let everybody else debate that. But more just about the range and things like range anxiety, the inconvenience of having an electric car, that kind of thing. But I have to say, there's a point I'm going to say to everybody, I'm a big convert. I'm a big convert. This has only got a range of 95 miles, so this is probably one of the worst examples of an electric car you could probably have when you're trying to fight the cause for why they are a good alternative to a petrol car. But in reality, when I looked at it, my journey to work and back is 10 miles there, 10 miles back, so it's 20 miles. So allowing for gym trips in the morning, I was able to do 4 days on this car before I needed to charge it up. Now, at that point, my wife was saying to me, when we got to about day 3 and my range got down to quite low, she was saying, you know, oh, range anxiety, you're going to have to charge it soon. If you run out, you're going to be left somewhere waiting hours for it to charge up. But when it came down to it, when the range got low enough that it needed charging again, where normally in my Range Rover I'd be going, oh God, it's the end of the day, I need to go out of my way now, because it is out of my way. It's about 3 miles out of my way to go and get fuel from where I am. I've got to go in the wrong direction and go and get fuel. Instead, I just drove home, I plugged the car in and left it overnight and got up in the morning and was set for another 4 days again. It was actually less inconvenient than going to the petrol station, for me anyway, because that's how I just don't know why I really loathe that thing at the end of a long day when you realise you've got to stop off and get fuel before you can just go home. So allowing for that, I didn't really find that inconvenience. And I would imagine most people are in the same boat. If you actually sit down and work out how many miles, your Mrs. Chops is the worst example of this. I keep saying to her about getting an electric car, and she won't have any of it. She absolutely loathes the idea. And she says, oh yeah, but what about when I want to go to Bristol and this, that and the other? And it's like, but that happens once every couple of months. The rest of the time, you're doing like a mile up the road and a mile back again. She probably does at best 3 or 4 miles in a day, most days. On a maximum day, about 10 miles. As I looked it up, the UK average is only 8 miles. The average journey is only 8 miles if you look it up online. Now, lots of people will be in the comments jumping up and down going, oh yeah, but I do X, Y, Z. Average, guys. Average. And if you are doing longer commutes, it probably won't work for you. But if you're doing like I am, like say 10 miles there, 10 miles back, this makes perfect sense. So obviously I was charging it overnight, so I was on the long, I mean, I've got solar panels as well that go into batteries, so for me it was next to nothing to charge up. But even off a plug, I think I looked up online and it was about £7 to £8 to charge it up, I think, if you're doing it overnight like that. A lot of you again will be in the comments with more information on it than I've got. So it costs next to nothing. But even without the economic side of things, this sounds mad, but even without the economic side of things, this has got way more grunt than a 1.2 or 1.4. So when I want to overtake on the lanes, I've got instant power. I can overtake easier. It's automatic, and there's no gear changes on it, obviously, because it's like one gear, isn't it, effectively? So it's super smooth and it's super quiet. What do I like about my Range Rover? I like the fact that it's super smooth and it's super quiet and it's super comfortable. And it's high up. I guess that's the only thing that the little Soul hasn't got going for it there, is that it's not higher off the ground and it's not a bit bigger. If that was bigger and it was higher off the ground and it had a range, I mean, at the end of the day, like I say, it's got enough range for me to be fair, but occasionally I do longer journeys. If it had range maybe like 250 miles, then I wouldn't need anything else, to be honest. For me, with the range of only about sort of 95 miles, this is just a local, it's a second car, a commuting car, a shopping car, rather than your main car if you do longer journeys. But for that, it does it absolutely perfectly. And obviously I had the same worries people about having to replace batteries on these, but this is now done 40 odd thousand miles and only lost 5% of its battery life, and it's a 66 plate, so it's what, 8 years old now, coming on 8 years old. It's done 40 odd thousand miles and it's only lost 5% of its battery life. Now let's say, for example, you got this Audi next to you. This has done 95,000 miles on a 2015, and most people wouldn't consider buying this car at all once it reached, say, 150,000 miles, something like that. They probably wouldn't consider buying it at all, because at 100,000 miles they kind of think most cars are on their way to being dead. And even though, like I say, with good servicing and so forth, I imagine this could quite comfortably do a couple 100,000 miles, you're still saying that at 100,000 miles that it's gone through half of its, say, engine life. With 50,000 miles on, it would be about, say, 25% of its way through its engine life. That's only used 5%. So yeah, again, ignoring all of this sort of environmental factors to it and the economy factors to it, I just think it's a really nice car to drive. But yeah, I've surprised myself a little bit, to be honest. Like I say, I was one of the worst people to be throwing all these random comments out, or, you know, sort of uneducated comments out there about battery cars, having never actually run one myself. And like I say, I've probably used one of the worst examples, one of the ones with the shortest ranges, and found it the absolutely perfect commuting car. I did seriously consider keeping hold of it, pulling it out the front and having it like as my loan car, and then just using it myself to commute about. My only concern was that if someone further afield needed a loan car from me, it wouldn't work that way, and I ended up having to keep yet another car around for that. If it, however, had been jacked up, if it had been much bigger and a 4x4, I mean, if I could get my Range Rover with a, say, 250 mile range on it, with an electric engine in it, I don't know why I'd have the diesel version, to be perfectly honest. Like I say, is what I want is comfort. I want it to be smooth, I want it to be quiet, and I want instant power. And to be honest, the electric gives you all of that. So yeah, totally understood. If you are doing long journeys every day, day in, day out, then battery probably isn't there for you at the moment. You're going to need to use public charging points, which there aren't enough of them around. Most of the cars aren't going to have the range you need to do all that running around. That's not going to work for you, and I totally understand that. But sit down and seriously ask yourself, before you start slagging these off, the ones with the lower ranges, how much mileage do you actually genuinely do on average? And how inconvenient would it really be just to park your car at home and charge? Again, if you don't have your own driveway, if you're parking on the street, I totally understand why you'd be hesitant to do it. But if you have your own driveway, you have your own garage, and you're doing shorter journeys, then I have to say I cannot see why one of these wouldn't make sense. Yep, again, guys, I'm as surprised as anyone about my stance on it after having it. But do I think it will sell? I think it might be a hard sell. I do think it might be a hard sell. I mean, again, I think most of the customers coming in here that buy small CC petrol cars from me do very low mileage, and in reality this would probably be a better car for them than some of the Suzuki Swifts and the Hyundai i10s and all the other stuff I do, because all they're doing is running from South Molton to Barnstable and back, you know, Barnstable to Bideford and those kind of journeys, short journeys. Most of the customers selling to do very low mileages, and like I say, in reality this car would be a nicer drive for them. It'd be easier for them to overtake if they need to on the lanes. They can just, like say, go home and charge it up, so they're going to save money on the fuel side of things, and they're going to find it way... I mean, if you put this next to, say, a 2016 Ford Ka or a 2016 Ford Fiesta or any of those things, and you drove them back to back, there's no way you'd want the petrol version of the cars. They'd have a smoother, as I said already, I know I'm getting repetitive, but they'd have a smoother, quicker, quieter drive for less running costs. But like I say, there's just so much prejudice out there about electric cars and so much misinformation that I suspect that none of those people, the people that this car would be ideal for, will even consider it. So we'll see how long it becomes an ornament within the showroom or not. But personally, I say I'd be more than happy just to pull it to the front again and use it as my daily commuter anytime. A lot of people don't like the looks of it as well. I don't know why. I actually quite like the looks of it. I've got no problem with the looks of it at all. I quite like the fact the front end hasn't got all the grills and scoops on it. I mean, everything at the moment looks like, you see all the modern BMWs and Mercedes and everything. They've got grills going from the floor to the flipping roof line of the car. They look ridiculous. I actually don't mind the smoothed out look on the front of it. Boy, am I looking forward to this video coming out and seeing all the comments down below. I can already see all of the I can predict what all of the comments are going to be, but again, all I can say is, when you put your comments down below, let me know if you've actually run one or not, or whether what you're saying is just based on your opinion and your feedback, because I'd be interested to see if anyone still has that opinion after actually running one. Most of the subscribers I talk to that come by here that have electric cars, that run electric cars, have been pretty strong converts as well, to be fair. Does this mean I'll be stocking up with them? No, I don't think I will be. I'll need to see how this one goes at the moment, because above all, I am a business and I need to stock what's selling. I mean, even though I know what the right car is for people, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to sell. But I needed to do it at some point. I needed to buy one. More EVs are going to start coming through the market. They're going to start getting to the age where they fall into the sort of price bracket and age that I sell. I needed to try one out. And, I wouldn't have 5 or 6 of them sitting around with the potential risks of that. But having one and seeing how we get on will be of interest. So, yeah, like I say, keep tuned to see how long this becomes an ornament for. Now, at the completely other end of the spectrum, we've got this 5-litre V8 Mercedes CL. And it's time to remind you, it's about your last opportunity to buy raffle tickets to win this vehicle. Brand new MOT on it. It's in fantastic condition inside and out. It'll be coming out to you with a year's road tax as well included as part of the prize. It is just a proper old school bruiser. It is just an amazing bit of kit. I think we said this was something like, what was it, like £70,000 when it was brand new. All leather inside, wood, electric, absolutely everything. I say really is in nice condition. But should you decide you don't actually want the car, there is the alternative of £4,000 cash. And either way, when you buy tickets, you will be helping our charity for this month, which is Ability FC, which is the football club in Barnstable that is for those that have learning disabilities and additional needs. Someone was speaking to me and said they really could do with some support, so we chose them as the charity for the raffle this time round. So like I say, your choice is to get the car with its brand new MOT and a year's road tax, or to have £4,000 cash. It's a guaranteed draw. It's already hit its minimum ticket sale, so someone is guaranteed to win either of those prizes, and the tickets are just £2 each. We have a special offer running for the last few days of the raffle, which means that if you spend £20 or more on tickets, you will get 50% off. So buy 20 quid's worth of tickets, it'll only cost you £10. So I'll put a link to that raffle in the video description down below, and best of luck to you all. As always, many thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Or just to notice, this is your first time seeing the car, if you check my backlog of videos on YouTube, you'll find one there is dedicated specifically to this car, to the preparation we did with the test drive and a good look around all the features of the vehicle.